Welcome back, in today's day 10. So I decided to start over and build something that actually matters. And at first, I have to start with myself, my habits, my focus, my attention, my energy, my days, my purpose, my intention. So this is the beginning, not of a product, but of an intentional life. Now I went ahead and switched to my iPhone so you can see better. Over here to ChatGPT, go ahead and straight to cursor and Claude Code, and then I go ahead and edit and wait for Claude Code to add these edits and ask me any questions or permissions that it needs. It'll go ahead and create some to-do list that it thinks it needs to do or that I mentioned for it to do, and then I'll go ahead and approve any actions that Claude Code wants to do. For example, we have this one here and another. No. Wait. And another one. And this is a very important file that you do not want to have exposed. You also can avoid that with the git ignore, which will ignore files like those because that nv.local file is where you have all your API keys. For example, where I have Stripe. Oh, and as we can see, Claude Code is finishing up and just giving me a quick summary on what it did and if there's anything that it can flag for me and wants me to check, and then I'll go ahead and just read this summary really quick and test it out. But as I was saying with the .nv file, for example, you have your Stripe keys here, any other API keys that you need to connect to, maybe for Google authentication, or if you need to grab some live data, and many of those can be expensive, so you need to be careful on what to build and figure out if a feature that you want to add needs an API key. Add it to the .nv.local file, as well as make sure you don't accidentally paste it in chat. Claude Code will also let you know that we don't want to have it in a conversation to where it's exposed, and I believe Claude Code would let you know.
Man, you say your wife's name one more time, I'm gonna delete all that motherfucking mother that son, your motherfucking ass, I'm gonna call my motherfucking bitch, you say yourself before, bitch, I swear to God, that motherfucker.
And then you can go ahead and try and change your API key or things of that nature. So here we have our updated application, and I did tell it to go ahead and start from 12 a.m. and end at 11:59, but it didn't do that. It didn't say at 12 a.m., but I think that's fine. It's not a big deal there. Okay, so let's go ahead and test out some of the functions. Let's go ahead and click on a trip, like Friend Hangout, for example. Friend Hangout, kept our notes. Here we go. It went ahead and saved our notes.
Get your finger out of my face, girls.
And we now have a save changes, which is perfect. I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and the little circle isn't aesthetically appealing, but it did what we said, and we now have a start and end time. Now you can see I went ahead and quickly fixed this, and now it looks even better. We have a little clock here. Okay, so we found a little bit more issues at the 12 a.m. We did fix the dragging function, which we can now drag here. But another issue that we find is that if we move up a block, it'll move every block above it up, and then everything will just fuse together. So let's go ahead and fix that. Really go ahead and go back to ChatGPT to give us our prompt, and I basically described on what we need about the blocks and how they need to behave, as well as the issue with the 12 a.m. block, in which it'll go ahead and just fuse together. but that's not what we need. So we go ahead and see if we need to fix anything else before we can go ahead and continue building this application. Paste this to ChatGPT and see what we get. Claude gave us a output here. I went ahead and read it already. It seemed good. You should add a Claude MD file, and basically structures your entire app on what we're building. So Claude MD file, that'll tell us what our app is supposed to do and what the main functions are, so that you don't go ahead and contradict yourself when you're building your app. But let's go ahead and enter this into Claude Code. Claude Code Research. So let me go ahead and find it really quick. Yeah, I found it. Basically, what I did was ask ChatGPT to help me ask Claude to give me a report, and basically outlined what I wanted. Here was the beginning where I asked ChatGPT and I copy and pasted it here. Basically gave it a little bit of edits on what I wanted, gave the first research report, and I also had notes. If I can go ahead and pull them up here, where we have our market research reports here. Also reports that I added for a marketing report or a features report. Anything that was really helpful, which I haven't seen really many people on YouTube give, or maybe there is, but I found this out myself, so I'll go ahead and share it with you guys.
Shut your lame ass up, nigga.
See if it will help you guys in any way. Here is my build report, in which it gives me a prompt by prompt on what I'm building and where to place different things. And I also asked it to give me a test scenario, in which after I give that prompt, what should be the sort of user flow or UI and UX type of design that the user should be experiencing or going through, so that I kind of have an idea if we are building towards our goal. Go ahead, and if you don't know what you're building, ask Claude to, well, first think of an idea on what you want to build or what solves a problem. If you don't, you could also go ahead and ask Claude to give you a report on the best type of apps, and then go ahead and lock down on a certain niche, and then ask Claude to give you even further research report. And if you have an idea and a name and what you kind of want your app to sort of do, then you can go ahead and ask Claude to give you a report on what you should do, what sort of weaknesses there are.
I've been him.
And where you can sort of pave your way in that sort of niche and create your own unique way and justify giving a certain price if you are pricing your application for either a subscription or maybe a one-time purchase. Maybe you want to research a product, research why a product is doing better than another, and it'll go ahead and research a lot of sources. You'll see that it searches 740 sources. It'll go ahead and show you the different type of sources that it grabbed here, and I think there was one that had a little bit more sources. Yeah, here 883 sources here, the very first one, which I guess it searched more sources because my explanation was sort of more general and wasn't more specific, but it beats the personal research. Go ahead and just experiment with it, and that's what I did once I realized that somebody was already building my previous application.
Oh, scary.
Which was crazy because it was exactly feature for feature and basically the exact same design, exact same purpose. And they already had over 100,000 on Instagram, I believe. I think they recently just changed their name also to a different name. That was crazy to me. That application was really something because there was a lot of APIs that I needed to incorporate to get maps where they wanted to go. And maybe in a different video I'll show you my other application. I still have it, so I'll go ahead. It's not completely done. There's still placeholder images, but then again, there's also something you can build off the top of your head. You don't necessarily need to do the research. You can also think of Twitter app or Kali. You don't necessarily need to do a bunch of research, but one thing, don't be scared of the competition. A good rule of thumb, see if you can add a sort of virality aspect that will go viral. Maybe you build something like I'm building, something intentional, and you can have a get ready with me influencer. But the major thing is to build an audience. That's sort of why I'm creating these videos, so that you can follow along. People get scared because of the terminology like APIs or different sort of files like the .env. It's also a quick thing. You also have to make sure that you click yes on some of these, because you'll go ahead and think that it's working on it and it's asking you for permission, and you want to go ahead and go do something else. Like I was saying, people were scared of these sort of files like the .env file, and maybe some people don't even know that these sort of files shouldn't be exposed, or files should be in this get ignore. Ask Claude to go ahead and make sure that you're ignoring some of these files that may be important to your build.